All right, special good night to everyone joining across Trinidad and Tobago, as well as those joining on TikTok as well. Remember, we stream live on TikTok, TBN, for those of you that want to watch it on the go. We also stream live on Facebook and YouTube, so special good night to everyone joining on both platforms, Facebook and YouTube, across Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the wider Caribbean and the rest of the world as well. Ironically, we have a lot of viewers from the United States. But first, as we start off tonight, I want to say special thank you for the first show that we aired with the former Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith. The total viewership across platforms would be over 250,000 views across platforms, closer to 300,000 and that's just like, if it's upwards of 300,000, it's like 200,000 in Trinidad and Tobago alone, with the rest being outside of Trinidad, totally in the United States and other Caribbean countries as well. So special thank you to everyone that viewed that show. The show total viewership across, for the other shows in Trinidad and Tobago would have ranged between 130 and just about 85,000 views for the other shows as well. All right? So special good night again, and thank you so much for everyone that tuned in to Week in Review once more. We are live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 8 to 9 p.m. So today, children went back out to school. Parents are more than excited to get children out of the house, and for those that are troublemakers, in the hands now of the teachers, the guidance counselors, and unfortunately now the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. But children go back out to school today, and I was expecting that it would have been a good day technically. Now, while it was a good day for students, the motorists, not so much, because traffic started very early this morning. And traffic was mainly because of works that were being done there on the Beetham Highway. In fact, Minister Barry Padarat came out and he shared a bit of information about this issue here. All right. So I went and I visited the Beetham Highway earlier today, and works are still being done on this. So the Minister of Public Utilities, Barry Padarat, is not only sending out apologies, so extending his apologies to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, mainly for this issue this morning, but he said that the Water and Sewerage Authority, WASA, should have communicated more effectively with the public about the severity of the leak along the Beetham Highway that caused a major traffic backup for the first day of school. Now, this was severe. This was going all the way up to Arima. That is how bad this was. This went all the way back up to Arima. My apologies. I think I am streaming to the wrong page. Let me see. Excuse me, people. But this went all the way back up to Arima. The traffic was very, very much severe, Trinidad and Tobago. It was ridiculous. All right, I am now putting up the stream on our Facebook page. Thank you, Ms. Brathwaite. All right, thank you so much, Ms. Brathwaite, for alerting me of such. I am just putting the stream up on Facebook there. All right, so it's there. All right, so those of you that were viewing on the other Facebook page, is now up on the correct Facebook page. But anyway, so this traffic was going all the way back up to Arima, because I went up to Arima this morning, and this was absolutely ridiculous. This was really bad. Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarat said WASA reported that one of the major pipelines ruptured yesterday evening in the vicinity of the lighthouse, and emergency works were carried out, and it went up until 5 a.m. It took that long to try to fix the problem. The Water and Sewerage Authority said that the road surface remained it remained in a deplorable condition, basically. So resurfacing could not be done immediately. Management, however, assured that the area would be resurfaced by the end of today. Now, I don't know if this is the end of today. So, Minister Padarat, if this is the end of today, then the government are real experience to do and real work to do. All right, we need to get this road paved, because that traffic was horrendous. Minister Padarat expressed empathy for the public and said that once the Water and Sewerage Authority released the overflow Oh, when they realized, sorry, the overflow could not be resolved in time, they attempted to alert commuters. He stressed that better communications is expected and has called for a full report on the unplanned project. The thing is, the bus route was opened up from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., so motorists could have used the bus route to get out of that traffic, but that was horrendous. It was really, really bad. I'm not kidding. It was even more traffic going all the way up to Arima. It was ridiculous. The traffic there was absolutely ridiculous. But I saw a post, and this one I have to share. I saw this post on Facebook from Trini's Be Like, right? They said WASA has proved to not be politically affiliated. Government come, government go, they're digging up the road the same way. that's, that's so true. Because WASA digging up the road the same way, whether or not is PNM in charge or UNC in charge. So definitely WASA seemed to be not politically affiliated, because the roadworks today was, I passed them like what, after 2, after 1 or so, and they were still there after 1 doing this. Like the traffic was really bad. It was really bad, and after you pass this, then, traffic was flowing. I was like, oh God, I don't know what else they could have done, because opening up the priority bus route really didn't alleviate anything. It really didn't. It was really horrendous today, and I just hope that WASA could do a better job moving forward when it comes to this. But outside of that, I think the school reopening was handled very much efficiently by the government. I really do believe that, because not only did you have like Roger Alexander visiting schools, Roger Alexander, the Minister of Homeland Security, he would have visited this was the St. Augustine Secondary School on Gordon Street, all right? And the school was celebrating its 50th anniversary, and Roger Alexander visited the school today. Not that alone, but you also had Wayne Sturge as well visiting schools in Trinidad and Tobago. The Minister of Defense, Wayne Sturge, would have also visited some schools. Not Wayne Sturge, sorry, the Commissioner of Police. Police Commissioner Alistair visited 6 high-risk schools in the Southern Division today. And he also would have toured several schools as the government looks to station police officers across some high-risk schools in Trinidad and Tobago. So those really, really good things happening in Trinidad and Tobago today. So I am impressed by how well, we didn't have a school fight. I think the last year when school reopened, the first day was fight. The first day, all right? The first day was school fight. So I'm guessing that now people know that the government ain't playing. We will lock your ass up, basically. All right, so thankfully that no school fights today, which is good. But we still have trouble in the camp today in Trinidad and Tobago, which we're gonna get to as well later on in the program, right? But there's a lot to talk about. We have Colum Imbert to talk about tonight, and I think Colum Imbert is surprised that the country, I think PNM people still surprised that they are not the government today, because I hear a guy on social media talking some nonsense about voting and how the people would vote and why the people vote UNC instead of PNM, or how they did not vote for UNC and the people just didn't come out and vote. All that nonsense. Like, they're still in shock that they're in the opposition. But anyway, we'll talk about it tonight, Trinidad and Tobago. In regards to crime and criminality, as the TTPS announced a drastic decrease in crime across Trinidad and Tobago in the month of August, the Minister of Defense, Wayne Sturge, announced last Thursday that 25 mobile units will be deployed across the country to better strengthen the police presence and visibility to better deal with crime and criminality in Trinidad and Tobago.
Cabinet has agreed to the procurement and acquisition of 25 police mobile units, which in essence would house joint operations of both the police and the defense force. These mobile police units would comprise of 5 units, which are similar in size to 20-foot containers, and these units can sleep 4 to 8 officers, and a further 20 units similar in dimension to 40-foot shipping containers, and these containers can sleep 6 to 12 officers. And these units are being constructed, and when constructed would be deployed with a view to enhancing police visibility and to strengthen the presence of law enforcement in communities nationwide. This project, this first 25, would facilitate swift strategic deployment, as these units would be strategically placed in certain places around the country so that we can monitor exits and traffic going into and out of various communities, so that when there is an incident such as a shooting or a burglary or a murder, the security services would be better placed to respond rapidly.
Lovely. So 25 units, mobile units, are to be deployed across Trinidad, so therefore police can strengthen not only their presence but their stance in the war against crime and criminality in Trinidad and Tobago. Really, really good news from the government. A lot of persons asking, what the government doing? What the government doing? Price of this in drop, the other in drop, all kind of nonsense talk, as though we have not, or the government have not been in office for only 4 to 5 months. It's been 4 months, 5 months, 5 months, going on 4 months? 4 months right now, right? As though April didn't just come and go. People talking as though Kamala in power for ages or centuries now. It takes time to fix what PNM destroyed, you know. I remember when Gary Griffith, former commissioner of police, told us that we could report an incident anywhere at any police station. That's not so in Trinidad, you know. That's not so right now. We'll get to a story later on tonight. Rowley and the PNM went to purchase body cameras for police officers costing millions of dollars. Almost what, like $3 million for one body camera. All right, that's what they were purchasing. Today, the TTPS rescinded it, and we'll get this story a bit later on tonight. But that crap was going on. So I'm gonna get to the clip with the PNM stooge, with the guy that's against country and against growth and against development tonight. Right after this break, we're gonna go to that. But I want to remind him, I want you all to pay attention to that, because on the newspaper today and in the news today, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has rescinded its decision to honor a $25 million payment to Diamond Systems and Supplies Limited for 3,000 body cameras. $25 million for 3,000 body cameras. That's like almost $3 million a body camera. When on Amazon, you can get it for $100, $125, upwards to $200 US for the body camera. Here in Trinidad and Tobago, we're spending $25 million for 3,000 body cameras. I want to applaud, the police commissioner, Mr. Alistair. He is doing a fine job, you know. He's not only on the ground, he's not only meeting with students, he's doing a fine job as a commissioner of police, because if somebody, the last female commissioner of police, I dare to say her name because she was a waste of time, she didn't rescind the decision, you know. She allowed the decision. And in fact, this commissioner of police is somebody that was technically there under the PNM. We left them, or the government left them, and look, they rescinded the decision, $25 million for 3,000 body cameras. Stay tuned, we'll deal with that right after this.
Welcome to SNS Facade Group of Companies, a dynamic community-driven group serving multiple industries with excellence and integrity. At SNS Facade Supermarket, we're committed to community, providing vessel export delivery, custom food services, local delivery, wholesale solutions, fresh produce, in-house bakery, and premium meats. Discover relaxation reimagined at Sunset Beach Resort, with beachfront stays and dining that blends local flavor with ocean views, perfect for families and couples. At Cuts and Curve Fitness Center, where health meets lifestyle, with personal training, meal plans, a full gym, and on-site cafe. The SNS Facade Group of Companies, building value, trust, and community across everything we do.
Whether your child is topping the class or just keeping up, stronger comprehension skills gives them the edge. That's why Learn Smart TT has created an online comprehension and poetry course. This is completely self-paced with all tools accessed online. It's 30 passages, 30 poems. They can be downloaded or answered on our site. From there, students get access to answer sheets that have detailed options of how the answers could have been written. No other product on the market has this. In addition, they get access to a video tutorial with an expert teacher walking them through the passage or poems using high visuals and techniques to ensure they derive meaning. Also, we model how we derived each answer so they can do the same. If you want your child to enjoy all of these benefits and propel in comprehension, SCA, and general academic life, click the link above and register for this course and join hundreds of parents and students who are benefiting.
Welcome back to We Can Review Trinidad and Tobago. So my P&M director just corrected me before when we went on a commercial break there. You don't want me to say $3 million for one body camera. The correct terminology is too much money for one body camera. It was just about $8,300 for one camera. Yeah, you all right? You all right now? So it was just about $8,300 for one body camera, but still on Amazon you could go and get it. You want to pull up Amazon and search body cameras on Amazon? It's just about 100 USD. It's a 200 USD for body cameras on Amazon, and almost the same brand that the TTPS was looking for. But this is after the government again slashed the teeth out of the procurement regulation and say government could spend any amount of money that they want to spend, right? Because government to government spending is all right. But from one P&M director to another P&M stooge on social media, Trinidad and Tobago, this guy, I don't know who he is. I don't know who he think he is. I don't know if he think that his voice matters, or maybe he's looking for the same paycheck that Rhoda Barrett got from Column in Boots, right? He's probably looking for that same thing. I don't know if Column and Bridge still have the same amount of money that he does give Rhoda Barrett so that he could give some other guy who is an African and want to talk about UNC and everything that UNC supposedly doing and not doing. And he want to compare UNC to P&M. Not only that, but he think as though 2025 election could have been won by the P&M. And talking about P&M, people just didn't come out and vote and all kind of nonsense. Take a listen to this clip, right? The views expressed on this is clearly that of an asshole. Take a listen.
P&M people were upset with the P&M and they did not vote. If the P&M people used to operate like UNC sycophants and say, well, all right, we go in and vote. Well, we vexed about the 10%. We vexed because Rowley take up a raise. We vexed because we didn't like how Stuart Chung become prime minister. But we still go in and vote anyway. And we're not going to register to the party that we're upset about these things. If they had taken that approach, Mr. Singh, your party would have been in its third term in opposition. The 9 seats that the PNM lost, that they went into the election with, the 9, they lost by a total of 15,080 votes, sir. So that even though almost 100,000 people who voted for the PNM in 2020 did not come out and vote for them in 2025, we did not need all 100,000. We needed 15,000 spread across 9 constituencies. In Tobago, in 1 constituency alone, all we needed was 106 votes. So, 106 votes was all that was needed, and Shamfa Kojo would be the member of parliament today for that constituency of Tobago West. She would still be the incumbent for the want of 106 votes. And in case you don't understand GW Singh, it is not that they didn't have the 106 votes in the constituency. It was there. The people just chose not to go and vote. And what you all fail to understand is that they didn't vote for the UNC. In Trinidad, the thousands of them that didn't vote for the PNM who voted for us in 2020 withheld their vote. They weren't even willing to hold their nose and vote for the UNC. So come 2030, when everything that they were upset with the PNM for is dead and gone and long past, and they decide that they're going to come back out and cast the ballot, who do you think they're going to cast it for? Not the UNC. That is what you all should be concerned about. That the PNM lost the election not by hundreds or thousands of votes, but by 15,080 votes spread across 9 constituencies. I think the largest margin of loss was probably maybe about just over 3,000 votes in the Hoketa Talparo. And the PNM had sufficient people there to make up that shortfall. It's just people chose not to go out and vote. In my own constituency of Malabar Mausika in 2020, Lisa Morris Julian won this seat by over 6,000 votes. 6,000, over 4,000 persons didn't come out and vote. They are there, they're still in the constituency, sir, and they're not willing at all to vote for the UNC. If they didn't do it in 2025, you think they will do it in 2030? Some of them were CPAP workers, some of them were URP workers, who are today struggling, looking for work. You think they will forget that come 2030?
Well, apparently the PNM thought we would have forget Petrotrin, and like the Petrotrin workers would have forget that thousands, not even thousands, all gone home. Is your Prime Minister, Keith Rowley, the man that you love, the savior of Trinidad and Tobago, your God, he's Jesus Christ in print for you, or whichever God you worship. That is the man, that is who Rowley is for you. Forget he's the man that sent home all from Petrotrin. Wilfred Espinay come to say, don't call me. I don't want no media calling me any hours of the night. He don't want no employees calling him. All. Everybody would exit the company. That happened under your watch, under PNM, under the government that you supposedly support right now. You love the party that you love. You will breed the party. That is what's going on with you. You will marry that party. That's what's happening with them. People across on the PNM side don't want any semblance of growth and any semblance of change for Trinidad and Tobago. What they want is for their friends and families to continue benefiting and taking every single cent out of Trinidad and Tobago. That is what they want. That is what they want to happen. You're talking numbers. If you're talking numbers, talk about proportional representation. Talk about something that Bazio Pandey wanted to introduce right here in Trinidad and Tobago, proportional representation. Because with that constitutional reform and constitutional change, the PNM is dead. The only reason why that party consistently winning elections over and over is because of the seating arrangement. That's it, you know. When we talk proportional representation and the popular government winning, it is the United National Congress, 100%. The UNC would have won more elections than the PNM could ever bag if proportional representation was a thing right here in Trinidad and Tobago. If the popular party and the popular vote won, it is the UNC. You will talk to me about seats and talk to me about this and talk to me about that. The fact is that today, the election bell rung in April because a man couldn't wait and a Chinese man felt as though he had more vigor and more testosterone. I can't even say the word, right? He felt as though he had all of that he could have run out and beat the UNC, licks for all the UNC people. But we gave him a licking and we gave him a shock of his life. The fact is today, the United National Congress and Kamala Persad-Bissessar is the Prime Minister. The UNC is in government, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. There's nothing Penelope Beckles could do about it. You all want to talk accolades. We could talk accolades, you know. We could talk about all that the PNM was able to do and all that the UNC was able to do, and we could list out all of them. When we talk hospitals, say thank God to Kamala Persad-Bissessar, because for COVID-19, majority of the people in this country might have been dead because there were no ICU beds. We barely had any type of hospital to store COVID-19 patients. Keith Rowley commissioned Cuva and commissioned several other hospitals across Trinidad that Kamala Persad-Bissessar built. Early childhood care centers. Which one did PNM put down? Help me. Which one did PNM put down? Early childhood care centers built by the Kamala-led administration. That is what happened. And there's a lot more that we could talk about. We call it the box train government for a reason. What did Keith Rowley do? Which road did they pave outside of Ariapita Avenue? Which one? Help me understand that. Help me out here. You guys crippled the economy. The PNM crippled the economy, not the United National Congress. The PNM crippled the economy. The fact is that these people sour because today Kamala Persad-Bissessar is taking all the food that them was getting, all the food they were eating off your heads. Look at Foster Cummins. All the food they were eating off your heads, the United National Congress and Kamala Persad-Bissessar is taking it all away. So they're hungry. It's a set of hungry mouth Balize people talking right now. A set of snakes in the Balize. Go and fix your camp first. Fix your house. Go and find out why the people didn't vote. Since you very well know they didn't vote, go and find out why they didn't vote, because we leave one bald head to go right back to another bald head to talk the same set of nonsense that they were spewing back in 2015 all the way up to 2025. That's what they did. We leave Keith to take Penny. Penny is the same. There's a reason why the PNM did not want Penny there, but it have nobody else. They wasn't going to give it to Stuart Young. They're not going to give it to the Chinese because they know the country won't vote for the Chinese. Look what happened in April. How much people come out to vote for the Chinese? He went a seat down there in Port of Spain, and they think he would have won the entire country. The Trinidad and Tobago I live in don't want no Chinese running Trinidad and Tobago. So it was only one other person to try to give us Penelope Beckles, but you should have told Penelope Beckles to shut her mouth, say nothing, say absolutely nothing, then she might have a chance. She might have had a chance, but now the people listening to Penny, they're listening to you, and they have nothing. Penelope Beckles offers nothing. She's sitting in a picture with the ambassador of Palestine and think that, yeah, she go get some kind of pip. She will get some kind of talking point. She see all kind of thing taking place with the United States. She talk about India. She talk about every single thing in the country crucifying Penelope Beckles. We don't want to hear about Penelope Beckles. What happening now is proper governance for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, whether you like it or you don't like it. Too bad for you. Your voice does not matter because all you could talk about is election and PNM election and PNM winning and the people that didn't vote, and you feel the people are going to come out and vote for UNC. They're not coming out to vote for UNC. There's PNM till they're dead. Well, they're dead right now. PNM is a dead political party. Believe it or not, 2030 is a testing stone for the United National Congress. You know, I'm guaranteeing you that we will return to office in 2030. Go and focus right now on the elections coming up. Go and focus on that next year, the local elections, because we're planning to cut ass. Port of Spain, Diego Martin, we're planning to cut ass come election. So go and focus on that. Go and plan. Go and get ready to plan Trinidad and Tobago. But let me tell you, he thinks and he feels as though the country will be in a better place if PNM was in charge. So let's analyze that now. What would have been different if Keith Rowley had won the election? If, let's say, Stuart Young had won. If Stuart Young was the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago today, the same things taking place in other countries where they're protesting because of social media, We would have been protesting today because of social media being banned in the country because they wanted to regulate social media. Stuart Young, they wanted to regulate free speech because they're against free speech. The PNM against this. That is why Colum Imbert, as former Minister of Finance, took several people to court, such as Philip Alexander, as a former activist and stuff like that. He took him to court. They're against free speech. The PNM against anybody standing up and speaking out against what they are doing. And it's the same thing with these idiots and them that have some kind of guts to come out and talk and say that we on this side delusional because we stand against their style of governance. We're not calling all it delusional. No. We don't think that the PNM is delusional. We just think that y'all are assholes. That's what we think. We think that y'all who consistently go out there and vote PNM are a set of stooges that just eat enough food in Trinidad and Tobago, and because all they're eating, nobody else must eat too. Unfortunately for y'all, the UNC in charge. And when the UNC win, literally everybody win but your ego. Because now, in the airport, we take down Stuart Young. We put Stuart Young face nowhere. And if we could, we will take down Keith Rowley too, because that's a part of history we do not want to remember. It shouldn't even be taught in schools. We don't want to be taught. And we don't want to listen to the fact that Keith Christopher Rowley was a Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I don't think anybody wants that. And furthermore, Stuart Young as well. I don't think anybody wants that. But there's a lot of good things happening today. Roads are being paved. You now have a minister or ministers that are on the ground listening to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. For the first time ever, public utilities responded so fast. I have never seen over and over where the bus route consistently being opened up for members of the public now. Anytime it had traffic. Go and look at it. Anytime it had traffic, the quickest thing, I just always get it on my phone, where Philip Alexander sent out a message from the Ministry of Public Utilities or from Transport and is saying bus route open, this open, that open, this is what the government doing. Government on the ground. We saw where there was a major fight down there at Niaro and the ministers were there literally the next day talking about, regulating the beach chairs and stuff like that. PNM didn't do anything about it. Nothing at all for regulation. The United National Congress is working and working for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, whether you like it or not is the truth. And too bad for you if you don't like it. The only reason why you don't like it is because you're no longer benefiting. That's the problem, that's the problem with many persons. If you're telling me that, hey, you ain't voting UNC because there's a saying, look around the country, sir. Look around the country. The wastewater management plant, Crystal Waters down there in Beetham, that was built by the UNC. Built by the UNC, Couva, UNC, health centers, UNC, early childhood care centers, UNC, laptops, UNC, baby grant, UNC, no tax on several food items, 2010, 2015, UNC. Colum Imbert came back and placed tax on these same items. The price of living went up not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times. It went up. Gas prices went up. We ain't riot yet, is what Colum Imbert said. No one lives there. Shamfa Kujo. Again, Shamfa Kujo sent up a roaming bill over $10,000 we have to pay because she didn't know how to switch off her data. A lot happened. A lot happened. Sandal scandal, where they didn't have to pay any type of taxes for years, but we building the hotel. Sandal scandal. Email gate, the nonsense that made the UNC lose election. Email gate. There's several gates that happen across Trinidad and Tobago. Cotton procurement regulation, 2019 bill amendment bill. All these things happened under PNM, under the People's National Movement. You want to know what UNC doing? Look around. We are removing the Port of Spain prison after years, after decades, like 2 decades of the Port of Spain prison being there, and stakeholders asking several times for several administrations to remove the prison. The UNC administration, the government today is the one that's doing it. And it's in a PNM constituency as well, and the government is doing it. And understanding there, let me show him something as well, because he thinks that the UNC not working. And he thinks that he could come and tell the government or tell us that we don't care about the people. This is in your very constituency, sir. This is in Laventille. The housing project is continuing. This is right there as you're entering into the capital city. This is continuing going into the capital city of Port of Spain. This is in his very constituency that he will not highlight. Not only that, but this is in Mova, Laventille, a PNM constituency again. The school is continuing that PNM was putting down. This is a project that PNM was starting for persons to get housing, and it was for Laventille people. I don't know if they'll give it to the same Laventille people, but this is still ongoing. There are persons working on the structure, and then there's something else, a rehabilitation center right up the road from there that is still under construction today. It's not as though the government abandoned the project because PNM in power. I cannot even say the same thing for the PNM, because as soon as the PNM won the election, they left several schools abandoned across Trinidad and Tobago. You all know that, right? Several schools, you want us to call it St. Joseph, Mova, Bataria, Penal, UE, several others. I could start mentioning several universities left. I think it's the Shiva boys, Shiva girls, and we're still going early childhood centers in Presbyteria all over the place. Several early childhood care centers, the place overgrown. Are they talking about bush? Are they talking about CPEP and bush? But all they won't talk about the dilapidated structures that you're left all over the place. That's a talking point, you know. The PNM talking point is always CPEP and the people are going home and URP. But they fail to actually remember Petrotrin, Caroni Limited, Asametal. We forget all of these things. Y'all were the ones that shut down for a while the steel industry, the scrap iron industry. Remember that? Remember the foreign cars industry that we had right here in Trinidad and Tobago that was shut down under the PNM or halted under the PNM? And not only that, who got rid of the train? Who got rid of the train? Was it UNC? It was PNM, get rid of the train. Everything developmental for this country, they scrapped. They scrapped Petrotrin. Remember that. They're the ones that want to talk. Every single project, housing, well, not even housing, if you go down Shagonas, Edinburgh 500, the towers there, Edinburgh Ghost Towers, left abandoned for 10 years. Those are things that the UNC would have put up, the People's Partnership Administration. Not the Ghost Towers. The Ghost Towers was a long-awaited one, but several housing projects put up by the UNC and left abandoned. Several schools put up by the UNC left abandoned. Several projects that were started under the UNC, like the laptop program, shut down by PNM. Rowley came into power and he said he see no use for it. They're going to try to give out laptops again. COVID-19 come and hit and they had nothing. We were nowhere. The smart boards in schools that Huawei or Huawei, whoever, was coming to do, scrapped by the PNM. Scrapped. All of those things were scrapped by the PNM. And if they say it's in a bid to save money, where the money? We borrow $1 billion from China. We're repaying that today. Where we spend it on? The United States during COVID-19 sent $200 million for Trinidad and Tobago. Where we spend it on? The Heritage and Stabilization Fund was put in place by Basdio Pandey. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar in the People's Partnership under a recession put the most amount of money in it. Column and Burt, where the funds? It's the same funds that you utilize for COVID-19. It's the same funds that the government back then, during 2019 to 2023, used to pay public servants. They used that money to pay people because they had no monies for salaries. Go and search it yourself. Go search it yourself. It is the Kamla-led administration back in 2010 to 2015 that put the most amount of money in heritage and stabilization that they were able to use to pay public servants, to pay the fire officers the money when they didn't know where it was coming from. But all they coming now to talk to me about Kamla Prasad Bissessa and coming to talk to me about the United National Congress as though they are the ones that killed the country, as though they're the ones that killed the economy. It is the PNM for 10 years. You, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, voted for them not once but twice after they told you that they didn't riot yet and all going home. Not only that, but after they went to the Parliament of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and slashed the teeth out of procurement regulation, so therefore CARICOM could come to Trinidad and they could spend almost $200 million just to bring in diplomats in this country, right? Just to do that alone. You went and voted for them not once, not twice. Well, twice. Not once, but twice. Thank God Tobago woke up. Tobago saw that the PNM was the worst political party in the country, and they did not vote for the PNM, not once, but twice. They got it for the THA, and then they got it for Parliament as well, and Tobago will keep it. Right? Tobago will keep what they have. They will keep the PDP or whoever it is now running there, Farley Augustine. Keep Farley Chavez Augustine. Don't take God out of your thoughts and vote for the PNM, because all you get is misinformation and a sort of dotish politics on the PNM. There's a sort of blame the UNC politics for 10 years. 10 years, then blame UNC, you know. 10 years they tell me Kamla is a drunk. So much so it reached Venezuela. Kamla is a drunk. That's where it reached Venezuela. But like Maduro ain't a narco-terrorist. Maduro didn't run over his people for elections the last time around, right? Wait, I have the clip of it. I have the clip of it. Where Maduro running over his people, but that is the man that we want to support, right? Maduro is the man that we want to support, and Maduro doing this to his people. Look at this. This is what Maduro doing to his people. Do you remember that? This is what Maduro did to his people when it is that they were protesting during COVID-19, but this is the man we support. We want to say Trinidad and Tobago, we support Venezuela. We're staying quiet on the Venezuelan situation, and Kamla should shut him out when this is what's going on in Venezuela. This is what went on. Listen, this country mad. All your people mad in this country because nobody does do the research. Nobody will go and find out why the government saying this, why Kamla saying this, why Kamla doing this, why anything happening. All we do is listen to sensationalism on TikTok and listen to dotish rambles talk about a set of bullshit because he have a TikTok platform. Right? That's all we just listen to. We listen to that type of bullshit. We listen to people spread bullshit about the government, and then we go off and we formulate our narrative based off bullshit. We listen to bullshit PNM stories, and we listen to PNM and the propaganda, spread that across social media, and that is suddenly facts. Let me tell you, don't listen to CNC3. CNC3 television, worse yet. If you get any information from TikTok, go and do some research. Trinidad and Tobago, stay tuned. We'll be back after this.
If your child doesn't understand what they read, SCM becomes 10 times harder. That's why Learn Smart TT has created an online comprehension and poetry course. This is completely self-paced with all tools accessed online. It's 30 passages, 30 poems. They can be downloaded or answered on our site. From there, students get access to answer sheets that have detailed options of how the answers could have been written. No other product on the market has this. In addition, they get access to a video tutorial with an expert teacher walking them through the passage or poems using high visuals and techniques to ensure they derive meaning. Also, we model how we derived each answer so they can do the same. If you want your child to enjoy all of these benefits and propel in comprehension, SCA, and general academic life, click the link above and register for this course and join hundreds of parents and students who are benefiting.
Welcome to SNS Facade Group of Companies, a dynamic community-driven group serving multiple industries with excellence and integrity. At SNS Facade Supermarket, we're committed to community, providing vessel export delivery, custom food services, local delivery, wholesale solutions, fresh produce, in-house bakery, and premium meats. Discover relaxation reimagined at Sunset Beach Resort, with beachfront stays and dining that blends local flavor with ocean views, perfect for families and couples. At Cuts and Curve Fitness Center, where health meets lifestyle, with personal training, meal plans, a full gym, and on-site cafe. The SNS Facade Group of Companies, building value, trust, and community across everything we do.
What if we told you that one course could boost your child's performance in every SCA paper? That's why Learn Smart TT has created an online comprehension and poetry course. This is completely self-paced with all tools accessed online. It's 30 passages, 30 poems. They can be downloaded or answered on our site. From there, students get access to answer sheets that have detailed options of how the answers could have been written. No other product on the market has this. In addition, they get access to a video tutorial with an expert teacher walking them through the passage of poems using high visuals and techniques to ensure they derive meaning. Also, we model how we derived each answer so they can do the same. If you want your child to enjoy all of these benefits and propel in comprehension, SCA, and general academic life, click the link above and register for this course and join hundreds of parents and students who are benefiting.
All right, welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. You know, ironically, after all that was said, the news that came out yesterday would be Foster Cummins, right? And I listened to another TikTok clip. I don't know if I probably should stay off TikTok, yeah? Because while it is give you information on the go, it don't give you correct information at all. But $15.6 million in contracts awarded to Foster Cummins and his family. Now, I wish this was news, but we know some of the things that go on down there in Caroni, or in Couva, sorry, wherever. And I don't even know what to say about this, because I've heard persons say he was getting contracts for a long time, even under UN. So the people, the People's Administration, they were getting the same thing under, because I mean we rented from Faris Al Rawi for a while, and we've been hearing from millions of dollars going to Faris Al Rawi since back 2010, 2015. But when they tell you these things, one of the things that they don't tell you is this. All right. Listen to this story. Two companies led by the wife and daughter of, and this is verbatim I'm reading, all right, if you was to. Two companies led by the wife and daughter of People's National Movement, PNM General Secretary Foster Cummins, were awarded $15.6 million in housing development contracts or Housing Development Corporation contracts extension just before the 2025 general elections, and this is according to HDC documents. The documents examine the validity of contract extension awarded between October 2024 and May 2025. They show that Piscal Services Limited and Rivulet Investment Group Limited received 6 extensions for waste removal at several HDC sites. All contracts were ordered on April 16th, 12 days before the April 28th general elections. And it goes on to date how much money they were getting and stuff like that, right? On the, as you continue reading, it says 1 million, well, just about over 1 million for waste disposal at Edinburgh HDC, 2 million, over 2 million waste disposal at Edinburgh South HDC, 2.5 million waste disposal at Lisa Gardens HDC, 2.4 million waste disposal Maloney, and 2.43 million waste disposal Roy-Stoner HDC, Coven North. Now, pay close attention to the people that, or the demographic of the people that live within these housing complex, and understand that at least for Maloney, look at how the buildings look in Maloney. But a total for Maloney of $2.4 million for Maloney. Now here's the thing, I hear persons complain the same thing about the UNC and say, oh, well, the contract was under the UNC as well and it was being extended under the UNC as well, right? We need to pay attention to the clauses that are on the contracts given out. Because if government is to go to break any particular clause, we saw it under Patrick Manning when UNC took over. If we were to stop the contract, we would have had to, or the government would have had to go on, or you could have sued the person, the contractor, or the person who owned the contract could have sued the state, because if the government is breaking the contract, then the government would have to pay a lump sum up front to break the contract. And in most instances, that's why, at least for the government, that they continued the contract, exactly in regards to Stuart Young, all right? And what goes on there with Stuart Young, the government, I mean, they would have won several cases for breaking contracts and stuff like that, but not all of them, unfortunately, all right? And the payout from the taxpayer is too large, way, way, way large. But this is just to tell you how corrupt the previous administration was. And in all hindsight, it is only under the People's Partnership where several ministers were fired from their position. I mean, Kamala had the biggest shakeup in history, right? When she was in power, 2010 to 2015, she had the biggest shakeup in history where a lot of government ministers were fired. And that's probably why, not probably, that's one of the reasons why the country did not want to vote for Kamala Persad-Bissessar administration anymore, because people call them a band of thieves. Can't deny all of that. There's a lot of persons that are not in government anymore. They call Kamala Persad-Bissessar Kamala 2.0 for a reason. Kamala said she's Kamala 2.0 for a reason, because some of the things that they were getting away with during 2010 to 2015, her ministers, they are no longer going to get away with it this time around, right? The order by the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, to her ministers is to practice what you preach. Deliver, deliver, deliver. If you cannot deliver, you will be removed from your position. She says it on the campaign trail, she says it in caucus, she says it in meetings, she says it in parliament, she says it to the media. If they cannot perform, they will be removed. She will bust their head. Remember the boss head story? She come out and say she got boss head and people take that the wrong way and run with it on social media as though, she shouldn't boss head. Kamala Persad-Bissessar is driven now and has a mandate now because she's cementing her legacy. That's what she's doing. She's cementing her legacy. Not only she's the first female prime minister to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, but she's also the first ever incumbent, or voted again, the second female prime minister to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago as well, to hold one of the highest offices in the land. And she wants to cement her legacy in Trinidad and Tobago, and I will allow for Kamala Persad-Bissessar to cement her legacy as one of the greatest prime ministers Trinidad and Tobago ever seen. Because it is no doubt about it, no doubt again, and I know I keep repeating this over and over and over again, but no doubt about it, the woman working. She said that education is a priority. If you all listen later on to persons in education, they will tell you that for the first time ever in history, they see where schools are being built, not even built, but refurbished in a timely manner across the country. Teachers were complaining, principals were complaining to the Ministry of Education that they need this, they need that, they need the other. And Kamala Persad-Bissessar, or Kamala Persad-Bissessar's administration, is delivering upon it. So there's no doubt that the government is working assiduously behind the scenes, and then also somewhat in front of the camera. Look at Michelle Benjamin, people. Look at the Ministry of Culture and the Arts, and I have some footage of that, right? Look at Michelle Benjamin, Culture and the Arts. Look at what Michelle Benjamin is doing. Look at, this was Carrie Festa, Trinidad and Tobago in Barbados. That's how we celebrated. And Michelle Benjamin is on the ground. She did a back to school cut hair thing, a barber shop back to school kind of thing where she was cutting hair. I mean, several of them did it. And Michelle Benjamin was plaiting hair. Right? Michelle Benjamin was plotting here. This is Carrie Festa in Barbados. A team of delegates went to Brazil to learn about Carnival. There's a lot that is happening. The launch of Carnival was last month, August. Yeah, they launched Carnival in August. There's a lot that is happening. Trinidad and Tobago is being represented well across the globe. We are now looking as the leaders in the Caribbean once more, whether you like it or not. For the first time ever in a long time, Trinidad and Tobago name across the Caribbean, not only there, but international, with CNN International on this Venezuelan issue. We on CNN International for a prime minister that's standing her grounds against Venezuela. TikTok, seeing TikTok videos, PNM utilizing TikTok in droves now. Right? And UNC is not utilizing it as they should utilize it. That's why I say UNC, time to pay, you know. After budget time, I say anything big out here, you know. It's time to pay. People think I getting paid. Send that to Kamala, tag Kamala in it. Because I'm talking for free right now. I ain't gonna talk for free forever. But honestly, UNC need something on TikTok. They need people who could speak up. I'm not afraid to speak up, because PNM running the nonsense right now on TikTok, telling you that Trinidad and Tobago going down the wrong path with Venezuela and our legacy will be this and we initiating war and all kind of nonsense. As though all we're supposed to do is be dancing with Maduro. You also, should I play the clip again? Should I play the clip? Do I even have it? Yeah, I think I have it. This is what our legacy is supposed to be, right? This is what Kamala's supposed to do. This is it. We're supposed to be dancing with Maduro. Because if we're not dancing with Maduro and we're telling Maduro that, hey, we're not supporting you, somehow Trinidad and Tobago initiating war. That's what we're doing. This is what we're supposed to do. Right, Rowley? Rowley say Kamala needs to look at her words and choose her words and all kind of nonsense. Just as he tell people, choose your wife, choose your wife wisely. Choose a woman wisely. And the same thing he's telling Kamala, watch your tongue. Listen, you need to watch yourself. This is Rowley dancing with Maduro, the narco-terrorist. Look, Stuart Young in the back. You all see Stuart Young? The former prime minister, the one-day prime minister in the back. That's what we're supposed to do, apparently. Right, Rambles? Right? That's what we're supposed to do, dance with Maduro. Just hug up Maduro and say, yes, we will kiss you on your cheek. We don't want no kind of bad blood with Venezuela, because they're right off the shelf of Trinidad and Tobago. If we spit too far, it hits in Venezuela. So we're supposed to say, yeah, we endorse your killings. We endorse you treating your citizens like trash, apparently. That's what we're supposed to do? Let me understand that. Is that what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to watch them treat their country like crap? Just accept their people with open arms in Trinidad and Tobago and say, yes, Venezuelans, welcome. Just as what Keith Rowley do. 14,000, he say, Venezuelans got registered CNN, well, not even CNN, an international news outlet, I think it was BBC, tried to come down to Trinidad, one of them, and they say over 50,000 coming to the country. Rowley say 14,000. CNC3 News reported that as gang members came into the country as well, and they involved themselves and they infiltrated other Trinidad and Tobago gangs. Man, watch 2 shows ago, you'll see that. It's 2 shows ago, right? 3 shows ago, one of those shows. You'll see it. You'll see the CNC3 clip there, right? We supposed to open, and what funny is that he's the same person for Rambles this time. He's the same person that spoke up about the Venezuelan situation and talk about how they're entering our borders porously, but now vex. Somebody paying somebody. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Welcome to SNS Facade Group of Companies, a dynamic community-driven group serving multiple industries with excellence and integrity. At SNS Facade Supermarket, we're committed to community, providing vessel export delivery, custom food services, local delivery, wholesale solutions, fresh produce, in-house bakery, and premium meats. Discover relaxation reimagined at Sunset Beach Resort, with beachfront stays and dining that blends local flavor with ocean views, perfect for families and couples. At Cuts and Curve Fitness Center, where health meets lifestyle, with personal training, meal plans, a full gym, and on-site cafe. The SNS Facade Group of Companies, building value, trust, and community across everything we do.
If your child doesn't understand what they read, SCA becomes 10 times harder. That's why Learn Smart TT has created an online comprehension and poetry course. This is completely self-paced with all tools accessed online. It's 30 passages, 30 poems. They can be downloaded or answered on our site. From there, students get access to answer sheets that have detailed options of how the answers could have been written. No other product on the market has this. In addition, they get access to a video tutorial with an expert teacher walking them through the passage or poems using high visuals and techniques to ensure they derive meaning. Also, we model how we derived each answer so they can do the same. If you want your child to enjoy all of these benefits and propel in comprehension, SCA, and general academic life, click the link above and register for this course and join hundreds of parents and students who are benefiting.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. The Minister of Works and Infrastructure, Minister Julian John, says that she cannot say when the 1.3 billion central block of the Port of Spain General Hospital will finally open to the public. She was asked on Monday when patients can be admitted. She replied, quote, "We can't, we haven't finished the hospital." Minister John said UDCOT has not provided her with even a tentative date for the facility's opening. So that is, I'm sure, even given that schools are being built, hospitals are being, well, not hospitals, but homes are being built, I'm certain that the central block of the hospital will be open very, very shortly. Oh gosh, and I'm going to talk about that, and that will lead me into a whole different conversation. But also the issue now with Forex and foreign exchange in Trinidad and Tobago, it was a proposed $9. It was proposed that what it was going to $9 for $1, one USD costing $9 now in Trinidad to devaluate the Trinidad and Tobago dollar. Minister Tanku stated no devaluation is coming for Trinidad and Tobago. Somewhat a good and bad thing, because I'm mixed on this one. I really, really mixed on this one. Listen, I just try to shop online, Tanku, oh God, I just try to shop online. Not only does the bank limit Forex in Trinidad and Tobago, but it's just not feasible. I mean, when you bring things in via custom and excise, oh my goodness, they're charging 2 times the price for the item, plus the shipping fee, plus a bribery fee. You gotta fix customs, man. But I am mixed on this issue for a devaluation of the Trinidad and Tobago dollar. In fact, if you go back to previous lives, I tell you that, I support a devaluation, but it will send up the cost. It would send, inflation will go up 100%, but it's a way to mitigate and to get all your pricing of everything in gear, right? You devaluate, it now means that you now be paying more, but you're paying the right price for the item in Trinidad. That's what it means, honestly. Inflation will happen over the years. I mean, the UNC did speak about it, about inflation, and, well, not inflation, but devaluating the Trinidad and Tobago dollar. Maybe it's time to move away from the TNT dollar and maybe go to the EC, it's EC, right? Or go to the US currency totally. We have a Forex issue in Trinidad and Tobago, and it will be, I want to see how they fix it. I want to see budget. I really want to see what budget is like in Trinidad and Tobago. I want to see that, right? But I'm mixed on this issue. A devaluation is needed. Trinidad and Tobago currency is worthless outside of this country. Worthless. St. Vincent, St. Kitts, you go there, worthless. Nobody wanted TT dollar. We used to bad talk Guyanese dollar. But just like that loss last night, we're facing a loss with our currency here today. Sorry. Sorry. But we facing it. It really hard. Trinidad and Tobago dollar ain't worth nothing, boy. Oh, God, boy. I just pull out my dollar, and that dollar ain't worth nothing, $100. You go with $100 to the grocery. Go with that alone. Ramen alone is $67. Ramen costs a lot in Trinidad and Tobago. Right? We bought a burger today by Popeyes. The burger that would cost what? $2 in the US? $9 in the US if you do the rough calculations. But if you go online now, you will see the US price cheaper, $2 in the US for that burger. In Trinidad and Tobago, $67. How much it was? $63. I have inflation in my pocket, $5 extra. How much I went to buy? But in Trinidad and Tobago, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I know a devaluation means that we'll be paying more, but it's really ridiculous. Prices out of control in Trinidad. And a lot of groceries, despite the Supermarket Association talking about no price gouging in Trinidad and Tobago, price gouging happening. Right? I just want to know where Price Mart find the money to give you goods for that cost. Right? Where Price Mart get any money? Our Forex going to supply Price Mart. I know somebody watching Vex. She said, don't talk about Price Mart. She gonna say, don't talk about Price Mart. I just shop there. But what Price Mart get in the US? Right? We spending billions of dollars in food in Trinidad and Tobago. That man went to Guyana and invested in Guyana food security. He should have gone and invested in where's Guyana team name? The Guyana, the Amazon Warriors. He should have gone and invest in the Amazon Warriors because I remember he went to a TKR game and this was him. He care about the cricket. He went and he watched TKR play. I think it was last year, and he didn't care. But he should have just gone and invested in the Guyana Amazon or the Amazon Warriors because you're investing in Guyana. Kamala have the investments right. She have her priorities right. We're going to invest in Trinidad and Tobago. Kamala said Trinidad and Tobago first. Cost of basic things are too high. I agree. Basic necessities too high. And what's even more alarming is that government subsidize majority of the things in Trinidad and Tobago. Your flight to Caribbean Airlines, subsidized. Your gas, subsidized. Your electricity, subsidized. Your healthcare, free. I remember former Minister of Health Ford Can said Trinidad and Tobago cannot continue with free healthcare. We did a live on that together. Ford Can, former Minister of Health, was on this program, and we spoke about that together, where we cannot afford free healthcare in the regards that we offer it today, right? Education, free. I see what's this guy named? This Venezuelan. He came on social media this morning to say that his child was born in Trinidad and she get access to free healthcare. Under Trump, that not happening. Maybe we should adopt the same policy, because who paying for her to go and get her education? It's we. It's our taxpayers paying it, right? So I understand his point and stuff like that. And because the child was born in Venezuela, she's not getting an education here in Trinidad and Tobago for free. But then again, it's our resources that we're taking up. We can't offer, we need to protect our resources first. I want them to get an education, you know. If Venezuelans want to come here and live in Trinidad and Tobago and they're working and they're paying taxes, all well and good, you should get education. But maybe we shouldn't do it for free. Maybe. The same money that you're taking to send back to Venezuela is the same money that you could take to invest in your child's future. All right? Maybe. I don't know. I want you to get an education. I want them to get an education right here in Trinidad and Tobago. I want us to become more diversified and more abundant in Trinidad. But we're at a point where we really need to take into consideration our own first, our own suffering. You know, look, it was Keith Rowley that stopped the UE grants, right? You want to go and get a grant to go back to school and stuff like that. Gate was almost halted under the PNM. It was difficult for children going to school. It was difficult for doctors coming out of school because it wasn't getting jobs. It is Cubans that Keith Rowley sent for in Cuba to come down to Trinidad and Tobago, which is why we got a little bit more, not sanctions, but our ties with the United States were kind of broken a little bit because them don't really like Cuba. And we was doing business with them, right? So much so our travel advisory hit retail. Don't go to Trinidad. Don't go to Port of Spain. Well, I don't go Port as well. I ain't going there anyway. Right? If I was traveling, I wasn't going there anyway. Christmas, let's get locked up sending a bad image about Trinidad and Tobago to the Canadians. Canada don't even know what to do with we. Get them visa, don't get them visa. Get them free entry, don't get them free entry. All Canada does do is say, I need workers. Send for the slaves and them in Trinidad. Everybody that want to come Canada and pick apples, come up here and pick apples, right? And then we go saying it's an easy life. When we reach here, we realize how hard it is. But we have a lot that we offer the world, and we squandering it here in Trinidad and Tobago. That's what we're doing. We're squandering it here in Trinidad and Tobago. And we've had a lot of administrations that come and go, mainly PNM, UNC that come and go. I am grateful now because the UNC says that it's a different government. It's Kamala 2.0. And under Kamala 2.0, I really do think that she's 2.0. Because half of the things that I'm talking about now, I swear, half the things that the country talking about right now, Kamala was shaking in she boots back then. Right? When Kamala was the prime minister, she fired plenty ministers. Plenty people went home. Plenty people went home. And she was responding. Like Kamala was responding to everything. Now you can't catch Kamala to respond. When last you see Kamala? People wondering, where Kamala? Where is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago? The last for Independence Day, Penelope Beckles come out and was like, where the Prime Minister? She hosts, she said National Day of Prayer, but she was nowhere to be found. You know what Kamala said? Guess. Come PNM. Come director. Guess what Kamala said? She said nothing. She ain't responding. She said nothing, which is good because no response is a response. And by her not responding to Penny, she tells Penny, you irrelevant. I need to talk to you. I don't need to respond to you. And that is the Prime Minister that we have today, and I'm grateful for her. Right, I'm grateful for her because no more is somebody coming out and being arrogant to the media, because it was Rowley who buffed up the media, you know, for press conferences. Rowley buffed up the media. I am talking. That is Rowley. Kamala listens. Right, Akash? Yeah, Cash Samaru, boy. Trinidad and Tobago, thank you so much for joining tonight. It has been a wonderful one. Join us again on Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. as we, take another look at what the week have to offer. I mean, I wanted to touch on the Foster Cummins stuff a little bit more. And then we also have this issue with Forex and Colum Imbert, boy. What Colum Imbert say? Finance Minister Colum Imbert has questioned why the United National Congress supporters have gone silent over the central bank governor, Larry Howie, dismissed long-standing claims of Forex exchange cartel or of a Forex exchange cartel in Trinidad and Tobago. And he posted on Twitter as though he's Trump, as though he's supposed to go on Twitter and see this. But he posted on X Saturday, quote, for 10 years, the opposition insisted that there was a Forex cartel in Trinidad and Tobago. Now that the UNC central bank governor has confirmed that there is no such cartel and that credit card usage has increased by 400%, thus creating a demand for supply, creating a demand and supply problem. The UNC trolls are orderly silent. Why? That's what Imbe question. I can tell you why credit card usage went up so much. It's because we need plenty. The bank limit we so much. We go on and get all kind of job letter, pay slip, 2 forms of ID, utility bill, just to open more and more accounts. Just to get foreign exchange. So we getting 50 on one card, we go and get another card to get another 50 and spend it like that. I could pull out my cards now and show you, I have about 4 cards. 4 different cards. I have a Republic Bank, a RBC, a Scotia Bank, a First Citizens are opening every single account. GMMB are hitting all your necks. Are opening every single account just to get Forex. So tell me, I know Forex cartel in Trinidad. Where PriceMart getting the money? Where Massey getting the money? Forgive me, seriously, forgive me. Where SNS Passad Supermarket getting the money? Where Passad Supermarket getting the money? Where JTA, well, JTA still a thing, and JTA open back in Cuba. Where JTA, JTA, let me not talk about all here. Drug money, let me not talk about all here. But where are these people getting the money? Where, tell me, where? When the media suffering so much that Guardian media talking about, we had to fire this one and fire that one and we lost so much money. If the media suffering so much, where the other people getting the money? Where? Don't tell me there's no cartel in Trinidad because limiting US to either $1,500, $1,200 for a month cycle, that's not affecting PriceMart. Ain't no way them limit PriceMart to $1,200, is that correct? Because they're bringing the items somehow. I'm telling you, government is subsidizing the bill when it comes to foreign exchange. Maybe we need not to subsidize food. When we subsidize food, the price of food can go high. But at least we go have foreign exchange to spend elsewhere. I don't know now. But where they getting the money, Colum Imbert? I call them. Where they getting the money? Where? I hear you have a brother. Anyway, Trinidad and Tobago, stay tuned for Wednesday's show. We're going to talk about Colum Imbert on Wednesday. Have a great night.